We live in a time where people will believe anything as long as it's on the internet. I've seen this on Twitter, I've seen this on Facebook, and I've seen it a couple of times on my For You page, so let's just talk about it. Halle Bailey removed from Oscar consideration for Little Mermaid amid pregnancy rumors. Halle was all but certain to get an Oscar nomination for her performance. No, she wasn't. But now the pregnant young mom will have to stay at home instead of attending the star-studded event. So the rumor is that because she is allegedly pregnant, Disney removed her from Oscar consideration for Little Mermaid. That's not quite how this works. This is supposed to be proof, so you can see here Best Original Song for the first time is listed here, and then in this screenshot you don't see it. And I don't know where this came from or how it started, but allegedly Disney removed her because she might be pregnant. Disney can't remove her from Oscar consideration because she's not being considered for an Oscar. Disney wants The Little Mermaid to be considered for an Oscar. That's what this is. And this is easy to fact check, by the way, because this isn't like a PR release or a memo or a graphic. This is a website. So this is October, right? So October to December, the last quarter of the year for the industry. This is Oscar season. This is when a lot of your Oscar baity movies are going to start to come out. This is when a lot of studios are going to start to campaign for award consideration. And every studio pretty much has their own website that voters. So whether they have their own like Critics Association, the Hollywood Foreign Press, SAG, the Oscars, any kind of voting block, each studio has their own website where these voters can access these movies, watch them on their own time. Let me show you. So this is what Disney's looks like. That's what that means for your consideration. It doesn't mean that any of these are up for consideration. It simply means they want the voters to consider yada, yada, yada. These are all of the movies and television shows released under the Disney umbrella this year that Disney is going to submit for awards. The deadline to submit for the general Oscars, so your Best Picture, would be November 15th. Once upon a time, this used to be a big marketing deal. They would send screeners out to voters, usually a cute little PR package with, graphics, some behind the scenes pictures, and then a kind of cheat sheet to show you what they want to be considered for awards. And that's what this is for The Little Mermaid. So this isn't a submission form of any kind. It's a cheat sheet for the voters. So as you're watching, keep in mind, keep in mind, keep in mind. You get what I'm saying? It's very in general because some of this wouldn't even work for the Oscars. Like Awkwafina here, it's a voice role. She wouldn't get nominated for an Oscar for that. Let's say you have an original musical that makes it to the big screen. You have 10 original songs. Okay, it's time to submit the movie for consideration for awards, and you have to submit it individually to SAG, to Hollywood Foreign Press, to the Oscars. Now, depending on how those submissions go, Best Original Song works a little bit different than your general like Best Picture and the awards that kind of fall under that. It can cost a little extra money to do extra songs. So instead of campaigning for all 10, you might put your best 3. So instead of putting it on your sheet, hey, for your consideration, please consider all 10 songs, you're going to just list those 3. And this is where like the ignorant lack of education, lack of knowledge, I don't know what you want to call it. This is where all of that comes in. Because this was all about Best Original Song for the first time. And then people saying, well, Halle's been removed from consideration. She wouldn't get nominated. When it comes to Best Original Song, the nomination doesn't go to the performer. It goes to the lyricist. Now, sometimes that person is one and the same. Like Lady Gaga has been nominated twice that I can think of for Best Original Song. She won once for Shallow, A Star is Born, and then she was nominated this past year for Top Gun. The Weeknd, Mr. Abel, was one of the co-writers and the performer for Earned It from 50 Shades of Grey. Probably one of my favorite Oscar performances. So if, and that's a big if, this song were to get nominated, Halle would be tapped to perform, but she wouldn't get the award. The only award she could be considered for would be Best Actress, but that's not going to happen. Disney's best chance at an Oscar for this movie is going to be Best Original Song. Sorry. Disney is holding on to Lin-Manuel Miranda like a barnacle on a crab claw, just hoping he gets them an Oscar. But so far, he's 0 for 2. My best guess, Barbie has this category in the bag. The only songs that people are really singing from The Little Mermaid that have stuck, that have made an impression, are the same songs we've been singing for the last 34 years. I'm Just Ken and What Was I Made For, I think are almost shoo-ins. But I will say I do find myself saying at least once a day, P, panic, I'm scared. My money's on Billie Eilish. I think she's going to win her second Oscar. But as for Disney, I think their best chance at any kind of Oscar is going to be that movie coming out Thanksgiving week, Wish. the story, kids. Stop believing everything you read on the internet. Some people just want you to be angry.